It's a Priory presentation in association with all WNY News Radio.
God damn it, I've lost my way. Feel it moving, baby, every day. God damn it, I've lost my way. Feel it pushing back every day.
It's episode 2 of the Nick and Dan Show. Crack a beer and enjoy.
So everybody, hello. We have Bison Electronics with us today at the Nick and Dan Show. Gentlemen, welcome. Introduce yourselves. Who do we have the pleasure of being with right now?
Well, my name is Rick Steen. Been building amps and tuning amps and modding amps for probably 17 years or so, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Herman. I've been working on small electronics, like pedals and the like, for 3 or 4 years now, and Rick's a good buddy of mine, and I've jumped in on the old amp building
Well, guys, we're glad to have you here at the Nick and Dan Show. Give a little background. I hooked up with Rick because I was having severe amplifier issues, and
There's not a hill you can take for that.
ended up being just something really kind of dumb. I didn't put one of the tubes in all the way.
Sometimes it happens. Performance anxiety.
Listen, they're not. Every moment isn't always lightning. So, but Nick Landers from Inherent Vice recommended that I get a hold of you, and met up with this awesome guy. And I told my bass player, I'm like, Dan, you gotta meet this dude. You're gonna dig him.
Hell yeah.
And had the chance to hang out for a good bit. My favorite part, though, is when you started drawing electronic schematics. Like, wait, stuff that I actually recognize a little bit. Yes.
It's easy to see it.
Yeah.
It's
Like
easier to see it.
I get this.
Yeah.
From there, it's been history so far,
So far.
and we're gonna have a lot of fun in the future for sure.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we usually like to run through a couple of various topics while we're shooting the shit around the show.
Favorite sexual position and go.
3/4 turn reverse.
Oh my man.
Man, so going for the technical.
Yeah,
And,
gold.
all right, shit. Well, guys, I guess we can all go home. You just made us look bad.
Yeah, technical aspects are very important.
Yeah, I'm usually a traditionalist. I'm good with doggy style or missionary. Maybe occasionally laying them on their side.
Effective though.
The fact, I mean, they work their tried and true positions there.
I was going to suggest a helicopter, but you came in with your 3/4 turn. Yeah.
It's known as the Nancy Kerrigan.
As long as it's not a Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Yes, no hitting people with
She hit back in the news.
The Tanya hard on.
oh, dude, I don't know. She was not a good-looking girl either. No.
So, Rick, tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get into making these awesome amplifiers?
Well, my father-in-law is an electrical engineer by trade, so probably about 16, 17 years ago, I said to him, I want to build an amp. And, he basically said, well, pick out a schematic or something that you think you may want to build, and we'll build it. And it took me a few months to build the first one, because it's something I had never really done before. I didn't know about staking eyelets and all that, and printed circuit boards weren't even a thought at that point. So that was it, man. I just took copper clad and I cut it up into little squares, and I would glue it to like perf board, and I would just jump. I would put my stuff together, and that's when I realized that when you read the schematic, it's very different from the layout. You know, the schematic is the schematic. You know, that's, you know, electrically speaking, what's happening. But then how things get laid out is completely different. You know, you minimize, you know, hums and pops and noises through layout. That's really what kind of got, you know, got me going really, was just building that first one. And then it was bit by the bug. Pretty bad.
And we've seen your workshop, man. It's definitely a bug.
Yeah, it's a bug.
Right.
It's pretty,
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about yourself, man? What kind of background you come from?
I was primarily just playing in bands and everything, and got really interested in guitar pedals, and just looking on, you know, the different Facebook groups and DIY kind of community for pedal building, and I finally just decided to, you know, step right into it, and I tried to read up as much as I could on everything I would need for it, and got right into it and built my first little simple treble booster pedal, and then used that for a while. I'm like, this isn't enough, so I just went on to the next thing, just kept building, and met Rick, and that, seeing his shop was like eye-opening, you know, like, wow, this is,
a mess.
I'm on my dining room table building little pedals, and look at this. But he, as you know, come in there, he'll sit and bullshit with you, and he'll just tell you everything about what's going on, and he's just got a natural, like, teaching
You gotta
way of-
see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Gotta
got
see how it
You
works.
really do.
he's got a great way of explaining things, and just the bug hit me even more, and just staying in contact with him, and just still building pedals, and hey, let's jam together and work on stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, mainly pedals, guitar pedals, fuzzes and stuff, just really piqued my, you know, step into that world.
Like Nick said, we went down there to pick up his amp and to meet Rick, and then I think 3-4 hours later we walked out of there. You know, but it was as soon as he plugged in the amp, I mean, I was excited about trying to have him build one for me before we plugged it in and started playing with it. And then he plugged it in and ran into it, and then I think as soon as you shut the guitar amp down, I was like, I want one in every color.
Yes.
He's like, well, they're only in white right now. We'll fix that. I want one in every color.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what, you know, when you have time to mess with something.
Yeah.
I think that's what, you know, I tend to stick to simple designs. You know, I don't want things to get overcomplicated with circuitry and electronics. I mean, you can make an amp do a lot of stuff, but, you know, to add to one aspect is you have to take away from another. You know what I mean? If there was one amp that did everything, well, then there'd only be one amp.
Sure.
And that's all anybody would play, you know. And I took my amps that I kind of designed tend to stay more with the Marshall kind of topology as far as circuitry goes.
What you have created, I think, I texted you when we all got back home that night, was the Batman's utility belts of amplifiers. You know, I mean, just because you, even talking through your amp, you were very player-oriented in what you were doing, where you wanted to have as many options for the guitar player as possible into one guitar amp, but you also said yourself, if something were to go wrong with this amp when it's on the road, I want somebody else to go into it and be like, okay, it was this pot that failed, it wasn't something that I did to the amp,
Right.
or that you did building it.
Sure.
You know, because parts are going to wear out, parts are parts.
Sure.
But, I mean, it just, the usability and the layout and the simplicity of just cracking it open and looking at it to be like, okay, nothing's buried, everything's out in the open.
Yep.
And very accessible.
And it's not often that you find somebody that's they're looking at both aspects. I want a great product that people love to use and it works great, that's also easy to work on when it comes to somebody that knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
I mean, that's nice to find somebody approaching something that way, because
Yeah, well, everything I build, it gets laid out on paper first. I don't just, you know, willy-nilly start throwing things together and go, well, I'll change this or I'll change that later.
Yeah.
You know, that does happen, but I try to lay everything out on paper first.
okay.
You know, paper is a way easier way to, you know, and once you hang around schematics long enough, you start to understand where this is my AC signal, this is my DC, this is where I need things to go, I need to switch here. And you start learning ways to minimize hum and minimize noise. And that's a big thing with high gain amps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro, you listen here, boy. We're gonna teach you something.
Today, we discuss an amazing and fucked up creature. Something that, if there really is a god up there, he was fucking wasted and ripped out of his gore when he came up with this thing. You've probably heard the boys mention it on the show before. The majestic duck beaver. That's right, the duck beaver. Some of you fuckers might call it the platypus. You're saying it wrong. It's the duck beaver. I mean, look at it. It's half duck, half beaver. What other weird things can I say about this? Let's talk about it. I have done extensive research, along with the boys here at the show, Nick and Dan. But me, Carl Winslow, I like to be the authority on all things. So let's talk about the duck beaver and duck beaver facts. Oh, hang on. Let me get that covered up. That's not right. These are duck beaver facts. God damn it. Where's the fucking production in this fucking show? Hang on. Let me zoom this in. There we go. That's much better. Duck beaver facts. The duck beaver has been studied for a long fucking time. Oh, god damn it. There it is again. Hang on. There we go. As I was saying, the duck beaver has been studied extensively. Or at least, I think it has. I don't know. I clicked on a couple of images on fucking Google and looked at a few websites. But anyway, it's a combination of multiple things. One day, a snake had sex with a chicken that had sex with a monkey. And it popped out this apparently. That doesn't seem right. I don't know. That's what we're gonna go with. So anyway, the duck beaver has several weird things about it. So first off, the fucking thing lays eggs like a fucking reptile or a snake. But it's got boobs, so that way it can give its young milk. Also, it has fur on it like a beaver. It's also got a pretty sweet tail like a beaver too. Now if you look to the front of the fucking thing, it's got a bill like a duck. So now you can figure out why we call it a duck beaver. Now, back near its ass, it's also got some fucking spines back there that are venomous. What the fuck? And look, it's got wet feet with claws. What is happening here? So outside of all that crazy shit, let's talk about what this adorable little fella likes to do in his free time. And first off, in my studies, I found out this thing, it loves to fucking swim and dive. I mean, look, it's just going all around like there's no fucking problems in the world. That lucky little bastard. Up next, I also learned that they like to float around like a fucking log. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Apparently they don't do a whole lot. I'd love to just lay around and float like a log. Thirdly, I've learned that their babies are fucking adorable. Look, there's two of them in this photo. How can you not love just staring at their pudgy little faces and hands? God, I want to squeeze them. Alright, I gotta admit, even when they're a little bit older, they're still fucking adorable. I mean, just look at the little fella. Which brings up my next point. It's a little known fact that duck beavers love being held by people. It's true. Don't fact check it at all. Just trust your buddy Carl Winslow. Because trust me, these little guys want to be held, squeezed, plopped around, just fucking use them like a rag doll. Alright, but seriously, there's a lot of fucking photos on the internet of people holding duck beavers. What the fuck are you people doing? Now, another thing, they also like to play secret agents with fedoras on their head. What? Do you think I wasn't gonna bring up the fact that he plays a secret agent on a TV show that kids love to watch, and so do adults? Because let's be honest, that show is really fucking awesome, and I think it's bullshit they fucking canceled it and should bring it back on TV. I'm just saying. But yeah, he plays a cartoon character, and it's fucking amazing. He's all over the place, he's kicking some dude's ass, he's saving the Tri-County area. I mean, what more amazing things could I say about duck beavers? But, just to bring things all together, duck beavers are fucking majestic creatures. When you put together a duck and a beaver, you get this. And people are fucking obsessed with these things. There's crocheted duck beavers that you can buy online. There's even a canned fucking duck beaver that's apparently for kids or something. There's toys. Or, there's this. A fucking duck beaver costume. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. But I told you the people were fucking obsessed with these things. In conclusion, the duck beaver is one of nature's serious fucked up creatures. I hope that you've learned something about this animal today and learned to respect it a little fucking more, because it's fucking weird. So watch out for duck beavers. Fuck yeah. And now for some fucking commercials.
God damn it, I've lost my way. Feel it moving, baby, every day. God damn it, I've lost my way.
Are you looking for your next amplifier? Are you trying to redefine your sound? Do you need that piece of equipment to complement your amazing guitar playing? Well, look no further. Bison Electronics has what you need. Look up Bison Electronics online. Handmade from the ground up in Buffalo, New York.
Saturday, May 19th, 2018, all WNY presents Archer's Inherent Vice. This of Night and Light, all up in the attic at Mr. Good Bar. 8 p.m. start time, $5 in advance, $7 at day of show. Ages 21 and up with ID. Tickets available through the bands or allwnydeals.com. Saturday, May 19th at Mr. Good Bar.
Down at Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium, you're only going to get the best deals from shrewd negotiators.
So I'll give you 15% off. Because it is vintage, there's a price tag on that of $50.
I was gonna say 15.
15?
What do you say, 15?
No deal's too
What
good.
about 25?
About 9.
What if I give you 5 and then you give me 10?
Wait, that ain't right.
Thinking it's got 4 strings, so it's worth like $400. We're open from whenever to whenever.
We have hours?
Beer. What?
We have hours?
I think so.
What are they?
Matt.
Numbers. Time of day.
Letters.
I mean, there's an AM or a PM.
Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium, where we don't take it seriously, so why the hell should you?
Of Night and Light will be featured on Torchfest, Elmwood Village, May 19th. Follow them on Facebook for more details.
Of Night and Light will also be performing on Warped Tour 2018, July 25th at the WNY Corner Stage. Catch them live.
Is the banana in your pocket losing its appeal? Not quite as firm and ripe as it once was? Afraid your lady's about to split? Will a capuchin monkey walk away in disgust? Is it about time to consider making nut bread with your mushy fruit? Fear not, it's Bob Paulmana's potassium supplement. Side effects include but are not limited to spots on your peel, pale yellow color, loss of erection, opening from the wrong end, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, no blood pressure, unwanted satanic friends, divorce, marriage, polygamous marriage, premature browning, attraction of fruit flies, spontaneous human combustion, feeling of spiritual enlightenment, and finally, overwhelming feeling of wanting to add yourself to your favorite breakfast cereal. Bob Paul's Potassium Supplement. Good for you.
Now, as far as building pedals, is there a certain, because pedal building I've looked into a little bit because it definitely intrigues me, but I've never really approached. Is there a certain way that you like to approach building your pedals?
Just like what he was saying, you just, as you go along, you learn different techniques. I mean, yeah, looking at my first little treble booster the other day, what a mess. It worked, but it was a mess. So yeah, along the way you learn to making things like economy of space, not you having to use as much wire, learning what kind of components, just higher quality components, not by, not installing cheap stuff. Yeah, definitely just the techniques of just clean soldering, just the layout so it's easier. So yeah, down the road, if I have to open it up and check it out, I can diagnose what's going on right away.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, just basically perfecting what you're doing, going along, making sure even just drilling the enclosure is not a mess, out of sync and everything. You want everything looking as like someone put some heart and soul into it to build it.
Right.
Now,
is there any particular, as far as pedals go, is there any particular style of pedal that you really enjoy building the most, or do you really have fun working on all types?
I pretty much like the drive pedals because those are really where you can hear you're playing. Obviously, phasers and delays and reverbs are fun, but drive pedals are really fun. I like building rat pedals. We've been building some clones.
Okay.
Great pedals for like buys and amps. Like I actually, before I tagged along with them, I actually commissioned him for a Stampede. His 100-watt amp, 2-channel, and that amp takes pedals amazingly. And I think the Rat and the Klon kind of pedals really shine in an amp like that.
Okay. Nice. Very nice.
But I know you guys are incredibly busy, but you guys got any hobbies that kind of interject what you guys are trying to do?
I don't have time for hobbies.
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of say that your amp building turned from hobby to
turned from
side
a hobby,
job.
yeah.
My hobby is just playing in those two bands.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't have enough time, I think my wife would kill me if I added another.
No, I hear you.
Hear that.
Activity.
Right.
So, music, pretty much music.
Yeah. It's been great to have both of you here today. It really has. And plus, after we're done, we're going to show you guys a video of these boys ripping through some of their gear, so you can see exactly what the fuck we've been talking about this entire time.
Straight from the Bison Electronics laboratory.
Right. The tone we've been talking about, and again, we know that when it comes to being consumers, it's a name you're not familiar with, but if you're willing to give something a try, you're willing to put the money down and get that amazing quality, these are the guys to talk to. And they really are. I was super impressed the first time I heard your amplifiers when they were being used by Kennedy Carpool.
Yeah.
Was really the first time that I heard of Bison Electronics. Like, what the hell is that? I liked the sound, and then after sitting down talking to you and you showing me really how versatile they can be, I was mind blown. I really was, and I've got to have one, and I'm going to make that happen. I know Dan's in the same boat right now. The guys, stay tuned as we show you what Bison Electronics can do for your sound. And gentlemen, again, thank you.
Appreciate it.
You.
Absolutely.
And now a demo of Bison Electronics, handmade in Buffalo, New fucking York. Now, this amp model is the Dominator, a 50-watt tube guitar amp. This thing is the fucking shit. Versatile as all hell. Now Rick is running this through a Marshall 1968 cabinet. Now these things here, they are hand-wired, hand-built by Rick himself. The guy is a freaking god when it comes to this stuff. Whether you're looking for a clean classic tone or something a little bit grittier from the 70s, his amps have everything you want. Whether you're playing rhythm or lead guitar, his amps are built with versatility. And if you're looking for something deep, guttural, and brutal, Bison amps can give you that too. Don't think this is some fantasy classic rock amp. This thing's got everything. So if what you've heard here today has piqued your interest a little bit, hop online and look up Bison Electronics. You won't be disappointed. And more commercials. Whoopee!
Dan here again from Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium. Today, I want to show you what we just got in. We got ourselves an acoustic guitar. Unlike your big box store that want to sell you B-acoustic and C-acoustic guitars, we specifically sort out acoustic guitars. We want to give you nothing but the best. This particular one's got 6 strings on it, so it's worth about $600. But because we like you and we want your business, we're going to give it to you on sale for $899. That's right, just $899 will get you this acoustic guitar.
Wait a second. No, that's right. Never mind.
That's right.
Saturday, May 19th, 2018, all WNY presents Archer's Inherent Vice. This of Night and Light, all up in the attic at Mr. Good Bar. 8 p.m. start time, $5 in advance, $7 at day of show. Ages 21 and up with ID. Tickets available through the bands or allwnydeals.com. Saturday, May 19th at Mr. Good Bar. Night and Light will be featured on Torch Fest, Elmwood Village, May 19th. Follow them on Facebook for more details.
Of Night and Light will also be performing on Warped Tour 2018, July 25th at the WNY Corner Stage. Catch them live. Are you looking for your next amplifier? Are you trying to redefine your sound? Do you need that piece of equipment to complement your amazing guitar playing? Well, look no further. Bison Electronics has what you need. Look up Bison Electronics online. Handmade from the ground up in Buffalo, New York. for Music History with Professor Leland.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but when Samuel L. Jackson founded the Jackson 5, it was originally supposed to be a rock and roll group. They started out playing Rage Against the Machine covers, and eventually decided to become the bluegrass sensation that they're known as today. They started out opening for acts like Kesha and the Beastie Boys, before Samuel L. Jackson finally got a deal for Kingsman, and abandoned the Jackson 5 to be the actor that he is now. Fans are still waiting for the Jackson 5 to reunite.
And that's Music History with Professor Leland. Seriously, don't go online and look this shit up. Now back to the boys with their next guest.
Everybody, we've got a Night and Light in the office with us right now. What's going on, gentlemen?
Man, how you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Happy to be here.
We're glad to have you. So introduce yourselves. Tell the people who we fucking have hanging out with us right now.
I'm Joseph, and I'm the vocalist and guitarist.
I'm Cameron. I play bass. I'm Nick, and I like to hit things, so I'm the drummer.
Yeah,
that's right.
Soul. There you go. Must be a Nick thing. We like to hit stuff.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I typically hit you. Usually.
Yeah, you hit drums instead. They hit me too. Yeah.
I mean, I could hit the...
Yeah, you're better at hitting him than hitting drums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I'm awesome.
See it work?
See how good I am. Yeah. Very proficient. Dead on.
Good technique.
Don't look at me that way. Fuck you.
Why do you hate the bass player so much?
Did I say once that I hate the bass player?
I don't know if it was explicitly stated.
Right.
It was never explicitly stated, dude.
Most people don't hate the bass
Right,
player.
it's
They
just
just
an
don't even know you're there.
Yeah, listen, hate is a very strong word.
It is
dude.
a very strong word.
Not the proper nomenclature, dude.
Alright, I'll just deal with the underlying upset.
I abuse the bass player. I don't hate the bass player.
We'll go with that.
God damn, always putting words in my fucking mouth. Can you believe this motherfucker?
How about your musical influences? What influenced you to do what you do? Start off with Nick.
Well, Cam mentioned Linkin Park. I mean, I wasn't playing a lot of the time, but all through high school, man, Linkin Park that's where it was at for me.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, just the appreciation of music and like lyrics and things resonating with you and just the connection with that. So I'd say first band for sure was definitely Linkin Park.
Okay.
What they were all about. And then as we got older and now that we're, playing more, I'm pretty eclectic. I like a lot of different stuff, but we like Royal Blood and some other different bands that are up and coming and doing some new different stuff. So, but I like it all. So.
Yeah, Nick even gets into like really techno stuff that doesn't have any real drums in it, or he gets into music that has like very little drumming at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he gets like his skill and his ideas from, because like some of the music he listens to, I'm like, that's all from that's a beat.
Computer can play what I do, so yeah.
Oh gosh.
Cam, how about you, man? What influenced your playing style?
Well, so after the whole like Linkin Park thing has started to segue into some other bands. Like initially, I got really into like Avenged Sevenfold. Like back in the day, Avenged Sevenfold, like Waking the Fallen album. And then Thrice. I'm still huge into Thrice. These guys too. Like Thrice has just been putting out great albums for years now. So those two bands in particular. Bands like Under Oath too, those were pretty influential in my initial just like learning an instrument.
I could always remember I would be like in a store or like somewhere and like hear a lyric and I'd be like, oh, and I remember that like phrase and I'd go home and be like, what was that song?
Right.
And then you'd like listen to that song and then listen to that band, so then like Under Oath or Red Jumpsuit or Bullet for My Valentine or Seos and you're like,
no, that's cool. You know what? It's
turn on to all of it after.
Right. It's interesting to hear like where people's music influences come from. And it's very rare that I ever talk to somebody where like, yes, this is the type of music that influenced me, and it's the exact same music that I've put out. It's always almost like a polar opposite of what you were influenced by is what comes out. Like for years, I've always been in really shitty punk bands. Like it would almost go to like to the point of what might be where you can't really play your inch, like gutter punk.
Yeah,
to a certain extent. I'm influenced by like people like initially Hendrix, Alice Cooper, AC/DC were a couple of very early on
Extremely skilled
influences.
musicians.
Yeah, guys
Things that I couldn't do yet.
Guys that were very precise and very blues driven. And then later on, more Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. You know, obviously very proficient at their instruments, but much more into the heavier aspect of it. And to come out and start putting out what we might equate to as like a terrible version of the Ramones, you know, very different from what I was influenced by. And for years even like I guess we'll call good at what I do, you know, for years it was still like punk music. So it's always interesting to talk to people. It's very rare that I hear anybody say, yep, got influenced by this band, and this is exactly what I put out.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
we obviously all share a passion for like what we're doing right now. Nick is into stuff that I'll just never listen to.
Yeah, he won't get on it. No.
And like we all talk about music and we'll share stuff, but like, you know, we'll have messages where we just say, oh dude, I heard this song, check it out, and you know, and like there's just some stuff where none of us are on the same page, but then there is
we have
a lot
some middle ground.
You know, like a lot of it's like especially like Rice and Sin and Royal Blood. There's just these bands that we can all kind of get on board with. So I think it is an asset to us. Just we have these very, very eclectic music tastes that don't always overlap, but then there's these small sections or these larger sections that do, and it really, I think it makes our writing even better because there's little, little things that come in from like something that I'm influenced by that they're not, and vice versa. So we all keep kind of growing as we write.
Yeah,
just because of
you. That can only work to your advantage because, like you said, you're not pigeonholing yourself. And okay, so we listen to this. This is what we want to be. You know, and it kind of makes you open to have that song that's a little bit heavier and a song that's maybe a little bit more eclectic.
Well, yeah. So for example, when we first started playing, like Nick didn't play double bass, and actually he has this electric kit that we practiced at my house at the time we were all living together. I had a double bass pedal because I mess around with drums. I'm not like good at it or anything, but it's just for fun.
Like me.
Yep. But I had a double bass pedal and I brought it upstairs. I hooked it up to his kit, and the one day he just was kind of like, "Hey man, I saw you got your double bass up there. I just, you know, I know that's kind of like a really heavy, like aggressive style. I don't know if maybe you want to like just use it with your kit. Like this is the only thing I have, and I just don't want anything to get broken or anything. This is what I practice on every day." I was like, yeah, all right. So I took it off, but then I put it back up there later, and I was like, I know if I leave it there long enough, like Nick is always practicing and trying to learn new stuff.
He knew I was
like, if I leave it up there long enough, he's gonna start playing it. And sure enough, he did. And now he's like really good at it. And but that wasn't like something that he really like listened to before or like aspired to do. And then like now he's like using it really well in the writing process. So like it's an example. Like a lot of his musical influence was like a lot of lighter stuff, and then I mean Joe and I too are like a little bit kind of on either end of the spectrum, and then Nick also is in his own world with some of his like
I like some
old
weird
stuff. But
Tears for Fears and some weird
yeah, dude,
I'm
nice.
I'm into some weird 80s stuff that these guys are like, what is wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with that.
And now time for more ads. Good God.
God damn it, I've lost my way. Feel it moving, baby, every day. God damn it, I've lost my way.
Are you looking for your next amplifier? Are you trying to redefine your sound? Do you need that piece of equipment to complement your amazing guitar playing? Well, look no further. Bison Electronics has what you need. Look up Bison Electronics online. Handmade from the ground up in Buffalo, New York. This is Nick here from Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium. Not heard about us yet? Well, you now have. Come on down where you can find yourself some expertise advice on used musical equipment. The best in industry knowledge.
Airbrush. They'll read pre-scratched on the back too. New strings now. Basses don't need to be restrung.
True professionals at what we do.
In this very rare no-string guitar, I thought the amps were meant for holding beers.
That's where it's caught on fire. It's got character.
Not black.
Come on down. Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium.
Saturday, May 19th, 2018, all WNY presents Archer's Inherent Vice. This of Night and Light, all up in the attic at Mr. Good Bar. 8 p.m. start time, $5 in advance, $7 at day of show. Ages 21 and up with ID. Tickets available through the bands or allwnydeals.com. Saturday, May 19th at Mr. Good Bar. Of Night and Light will be featured on Torchfest, Elmwood Village, May 19th. Follow them on Facebook for more details.
Of Night and Light will also be performing on Warped Tour 2018, July 25th at the WNY Corner Stage. Catch them live.
God damn it, I've lost my way. Feel it moving, baby, every day. God damn it, I've lost my way.
And now for news with Dick Handy. Wait, really? That's this guy's fucking name? Are you idiots serious? And now for news across the world. This is Dick Handy, coming to you from the Nick and Dan Show. What's happening, you ask? Honestly, I don't know. The world has lost its fucking mind. Fans are attacking people. People are attacking fans. There's a bird out there somewhere waiting to shit on your head. You never know what might happen. Honestly, and this is coming from an experienced news reporter who you can trust, stay the fuck in your homes. It's not worth going outside. People are fucking insane. And if you do go outside, don't make eye contact. And when the zombies begin to rise, remember one thing. Aim for the head. Actually, remember two things. Aim for the head and double tap. That's all this week from Dick Handy. And now for some music from Of Night and Light.
Everybody vote. Everybody vote. You bastard.
Fuck you. Of Night and Light.
from the Nick and Dan Show for this week. Be sure to tune in on the YouTube channel at Exham Priory for Tuesday Antics, plus the full extended version every Thursday on allwnyradio.com.